Welcome, lords and ladies of the chat, to another episode of Legion's Lounge. Episode 17. 17, we're coming up on 20, guys.
That's right on. Cool.
Right?
It's awesome.
Flying by. Back in October. I was trying to figure out when the hell we started doing this, and it was only October of 2021, which surprised me.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So that's good. 20 episodes. Decent. We're keeping it schedule, so that's cool.
Yeah.
Welcome, everybody. My name is Trevor, 16 Shooter. With me are my co-hosts, my birthday brother, Nate Strong, Corona4, at Corona4 on the gram. Same birthday. If you didn't know, the 25th, the actual Star Wars Day, real Star Wars Day. Not this May 4th crap. I don't know where the hell that came from.
Nice.
Yeah, I will be in Disneyland, making a lightsaber and then going to Celebration after that.
Jealous.
Oh, yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, awesome. We'll post Trevor and I's address down in the chat in case you guys want to send us a birthday gift. That'd be cool, right on?
Yeah. We'll set up a PO box for the channel for sure. Also with me is the host of the Dorklair right here on YouTube, Bill Drewnowski, at the Dorklair on Instagram and at Dorklair here on YouTube. How's it going, man? How you doing?
It's going well. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
You got a what's going on with the Dorklair? You just did a video last week, right? You just did a online.
Yeah, we did a live. We did the episode 189 live, and
189. Damn, I just said 20 and I was happy. That's great.
You know, we'd be at a lot more if we didn't. If we had, we used to go weekly, and there was one year where we did every single week, 52 weeks in a row.
That's crazy.
Kind of amazing.
Wow.
But yeah, so we did that. I haven't really been putting videos up. I've just been, I don't know. I just been super busy with family and work and stuff. And so I haven't been like recording reviews. I got some figures that I should review, but timing wise, we'll see.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I mean, currently still doing the every other week, the podcast.
Cool. Hedgehog. Oh, nice. His birthday's the 26th.
Sweet.
No way.
Yeah. Very cool. Oh, you were born on May 26, 1977. That's pretty cool. Let's see who else we got here. Nate?
Motu Guru.
Well, Dave Orkin. We got to say Dave Orkin was first because he came here yesterday to say he was here first.
Look at that. Dave,
here a day early. Nice. Yesterday at 10:12 p.m. Yeah. Who else we got?
Got David Smith is in the house. Mr. Mike Casper, what's happening?
Mike.
Curtis Ackerman. What's going on?
Legion's
Scott
Lair.
Baker.
Legion's Lair.
Forge. Anthony House-Seal. Kevin. What's going on, people? Mark House-Seal. Brother House-Seal's again with us. Cowbunga Dude. Jesse Arnold.
Wow.
Who else? JD Gibson. Andrew.
I wonder if Mark has an easier time staying up than Anthony does.
I don't know. Maybe it's a brotherly competition.
Yeah.
Peter Tong, Josh, Simone, Simon, Tom, Grail 640, Lesbo Fett.
Grail 640 shares a birthday with my mom.
Wow.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Nice.
Same day, not same year.
There you go.
Edgardo, Ken.
Happy birthday.
We got a lot of people on. You'd think we had like one of the Four Horsemen on or something with us tonight.
Yeah.
Andrew, David Williams, Stefan, what's going on, brother?
What's up, Stefan?
Paul Stewart.
All right.
Thank you, everybody.
64 people here. Please hit that like. That helps things out. Subscribe if you're not subscribed and you feel like it. You don't have to. We do have super chats enabled now. So if you, we got a lot of people here tonight. Normally we're like reading the chat all the time. We're going to have a lot to talk about. So if you want to be seen or you got a question, that you have for our guest that you think he can answer. Let's ask some questions that we think he can answer. Don't ask him what the next round is going to be, or when such and such is coming out, or when are we going to get another version of X, because he's not going to answer this question. So
all right, well, let me cross a few off my list over here.
Damn,
come on, Bill, you're a professional, man. Come on. Damn it. All right. Well, let's get down to it. Our guest tonight should be known to just about everyone in the chat. If you're new to the Mythic Legions, then I know we get a lot of new people. Maybe you haven't heard a lot from him, but he's a founding member of the Four Horsemen, decades-long veteran of the toy industry, a collector, a creator, a customizer, as we were just talking about before the show. And definitely in the Legions community, he's a man of the people. He's one of us. One of us. One of us.
Indeed.
Let's get some corn emojis going. Can we get some corn emojis going in the chat? Let's get some corn emojis going for you love him, know him, you love him. As Cornboy, it's Eric Mayse.
Woo!
What's up, man? Cornboy.
Welcome.
It's
How you doing,
Cornboy.
fellas?
Cornboy here. Come
How's
on.
it going?
Welcome.
Let's get some corn.
You know,
Get
I
some corn.
have to ask
Yeah.
Nate and Trevor.
Yeah.
You said that your birthdays are on the same day. Is it the same year as well?
No, you're younger than me, right?
1 year difference.
1 year younger than me. Yeah.
I was gonna say you might want to talk to your parents and like see if
Right. That would have solidified the twin
separated
talk for
birthday
sure.
going on there.
Yeah,
There's
I
the
know,
corn.
I know.
Holy cow.
Yeah,
There we go. Corn. We got corn. Nice.
lots of
That's
corn.
great. Well,
How you
CB,
guys
welcome,
doing
man.
tonight?
Good. How are you?
Very, very good. Thank you.
We you're breathing a sigh of relief. Cosmic Legions, Volcatar, Book 2, Electric Boogaloo is done. It's closed up, at least as far as you're concerned, except for when it comes in and you got to start shipping it out. But that was good, right? It seems like it went really well. Did it do well? I
It
know you
did
can't give us numbers, but you did, just
It did unexpectedly
general.
well. I mean, we
Good.
expected to do good because the first Cosmic Legions wave did really well.
Yep.
Again, unexpectedly well. We knew that there was a fan base there for Mythic Legions, and we knew that some of those people might be interested in Cosmic Legions, especially, knowing about the fact that a lot of these parts from Cosmic Legions are going to be able to be interchangeable with Mythic Legions.
Right.
So we were expecting the first wave to do pretty well, and it blew past our expectations in just the first week. We had no idea it was going to take off as quickly as it did, and it did really well. And then this new wave, because it was a much smaller wave, we obviously expected a smaller amount of purchases.
Mhm.
But it outdid our expectations.
Awesome.
And I think maybe
Excellent.
that's partially why, because it was a smaller wave and it was, only a $200 all in. But it's not done yet. I mean, we're done selling.
So you're done.
Horsemen.
Yeah. Right.
Now all our
Exactly.
retailers have them available. So
Right.
go on
True.
Fourhorsemen.com on the front page and look up our retailer section and see which retailers
Right.
that you prefer that are
Yep.
carrying the Mythic Legion, Cosmic Legion stuff, because they've all got them up for pre-order now too.
Right.
One of the
But
cool
the
things
true
about
believers,
that,
the true believers bought them from
Yeah,
straight from
yeah,
the books.
yeah. The real
What?
G's.
one of the cool things about the list is like there's so many people, so many retailers that like buyers can go on there and almost like find someone pretty close or locally,
Yeah.
and support a local business and potentially have, cheaper shipping just because they're close or whatever too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right.
For sure.
We've actually been constantly expanding our retailers too. Like when we first started getting small brick and mortar stores contacting us about carrying Mythic Legions a few years ago, we were like, I don't know if we should be handling this ourselves or if we should get a distributor to deal with it for us. And we found Megalopolis, as you guys know, and they did a good job for the time that they were doing it.
Okay.
But any other like fulfillment companies, I don't think would have the same attention to detail that needs to be had on a line like this. So keeping it all in-house and shipping it out that way, or having it shipped directly from our factories to our retailers, was the better way to go. But as we grow more and more, like getting more and more retailers, we're expanding that faction. There you go, Mythic Legions. That faction of the company,
Part of the
at the
lexicon.
studio as well. So
Right.
we're handling it pretty well, I think. And you're right. As we expand and get more and more smaller brick and mortar store retailers, fans are going to find that they'll be able to just pick these up when they go to their local toy shop or their local comic shop. So yeah, it's pretty cool to see that.
I assume
keep
they're
telling
mostly
people-
reaching
sorry.
out to you. Well, I was just going to say that. I assume they're mostly reaching out to you and asking, can we carry it, as opposed to the other way around? And if so, if that's the case, do you guys have like some sort of like vetting that you do with them at all, or not? Not really. It's just, we want to carry your stuff, and that's great.
They do contact us. I mean, there's been a couple of retailers that are near us that we've, visited their stores and said, hey, we've got this stuff. Would you be interested in carrying it? But for the most part, they contact us and say, hey, how do we get in on this? And we tell them, what they have to do to become a Mythic Legions or Cosmic Legions retailer. And, they go through the motions. And I don't know about vetting them, but if you become a Cosmic Legions or Mythic Legions retailer, you have to buy at least one case of everything in the wave.
Okay.
And that's a pretty big investment. So we know that if people are getting started into that and they're making that initial investment, that they're probably kind of serious about wanting to carry it. Because when we do that, I'm not going to give away too many of the specifics, but they have to pay for half of that up front. And then the other half when we're ready to ship. And if they don't pay that other half when we're ready to ship, we don't ship their stuff to them, and they don't get their first 50% payment back. So they're taking on as much of a risk as we are, because they're, they're taking on 50% of this risk. And if they decide, oh, I can't carry this, we'll just sell them ourselves.
There you go.
It's a risk that we get stuck with them, but it's also a risk that they're putting up that 50%. So we're both kind of hand in hand working together, taking a risk to get things out there.
Right. So that's pretty much how you know that they're serious about it, and it's not just some fly-by-night guy trying to get a couple of cheap figures and stuff like that.
Right. And we've had people that have contacted us and said, "Hey, how do I get in on this?" And we tell them exactly, what you need to do to be a Mythic Legions retailer, and they go, "Oh no, I don't want that," and they just disappear, which is fine. Yeah. I mean, there's a chance that they may come back later if they, have enough customers asking about it. But if not, and they don't think that they can handle, what we need them to handle as far as a retailer goes, then, I'm sure their business will be doing fine without us.
I mean, I don't know, but that's got to be pretty similar and standard to what most people expect when you order from them, though. Any other manufacturer of a product for a toy store, I mean, you've got to pay some money up front and you can't just say, hey, send me a case, and then like 2 months later, I'm not doing so well. Yeah, I don't want the case.
I would think so, but we don't really do things like everybody else. So I'm not.
No, I know you don't.
Sure. Like,
It's true.
Like 6 or 7 years ago, a few years ago, people were like, wait a minute, people are paying you up front for these figures they don't have, and it could be a year to two before they get them. And we're like, yeah. And they're like, why would they do that? And we're like, well, because we deliver. We're not going to screw people over. Even if we have to pull money out of our own pocket, which we have had to do before, to make sure this stuff gets into production and gets out to people, we will do it. And people trust us at this point that we're going to do this. And, it takes a long time to have to wait for that. I get it. I have to wait for toys too. But now a lot of companies are doing that. A lot of companies are taking pre-orders, taking the money up front, and 6 or 7 years ago, it seemed insane for people to do that. And,
I came at this from a hot toy standpoint, and that's been my life ever since I started collecting hot toys. I mean, it's always a year ahead of time. It's always you're paying money, at least in installments or something like that. But sometimes up front, depending on the company. So it's not. It's the way to go. I mean, I think it's the way to go for all these small companies. I mean, get the orders in, get it up front. As long as you can deliver. Obviously, there's been some things in the past with some people that things haven't come through, and you got to take a chance. And you guys are past that point. I was just going to actually bring this up, getting back to like being a small company and startup and stuff. Just going to throw this up on the screen before we get to a couple of the questions in there. It was 7 years ago in February that you guys put the first Mythic Legions up on Kickstarter. I want to play this. I don't know if anybody can hear this.
Let's take a quick look at what figures that we will be initially offering.
First,
we have a variety of 6 different affordably
I love the way you
Legion
pronounce these.
Figures
I think it's
available
you.
for creating your own massive armies.
Sir Gideon Heavensbrand. This heroic champion is one of the central heroes in our story. Gorgo Aetherblade. As his menacing look suggests, Gorgo is a major force of evil in the world of Mythic Legions. Thord Ironjaw. Scapular the Crypt Breaker. Sir Galeron, Orn Steelhide, Clavion.
This is great. It's a great video.
And I don't even know if I was pronouncing all those names correctly or not.
That's awesome.
But now they're canon. Once you said them, that's where the pronunciation comes from. You have to go back to that video and watch
with the second wave, the Advent of Decay wave, I was like making pronunciations of the doing pronunciation, and some of them I was like really elaborating on. One of them was Balam. Bill Mancuso still gives me shit over that one.
So great, man. That's great. It's been 7 years. Does it feel like, wow, it's been 7 years? Or does it feel like, wow, it's been 7 years?
When you said that, I was like, oh, I thought it was only 5 years ago. I guess it was 7 at this point. Yeah, almost. Okay. Yeah.
So it's gone
that's
quick.
Crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, it is crazy. I mean, the amount of stuff that's come out, the amount of I think I looked on the Kickstarter. I think it was like 1,160 people backed it. I think back then, for whatever amount that it was needed to half of 500,000 or whatever it was. But only
I think the first Kickstarter was like 333,000 or something, wasn't it?
Yeah,
and
something like that.
The second one was nearly 1 million. It was like over 900,000.
Yep. And it was, but just 1,200 people, under 1,200 people, which is nuts. It's crazy. There's double that or triple that now on the Cabal alone. You know what I mean? So
we sell amazing. 6 times that in one pre-order for just through store Horsemen of a single figure easily now.
Right.
So
wow.
that seems crazy at this point. And it's just it's 7 years, but for us, we're constantly working on this and putting it out. It seems like it's gone by so fast. It's just crazy to us. It just seems like it's growing so quickly, and it's actually a long 7 years that this has been growing. So it's a little shocking to hear it's been 7 years.
7 years.
Check your math.
7 years. February
7 years,
February 9th, 2015. 7 years.
That's either a testament to loving what you're doing, or we know when we get up in our ages, everything seems like 5 years ago, right? And then it's like, wait, that happened in '97? Are you effing kidding me?
Jesus,
I think
the
pandemic makes everything feel like 2 years shorter,
Yeah, the last
7 years ago feels like 5.
Basically haven't happened. This is a question I want to pull up, though. Speaking in of retailers and stuff, if you could have Legions go, there's a couple of people that asked a similar questions. Into a big store, would you create a new line for them, or would you just? I mean, you've avoided that now forever, and I think that's the way you would want to go. I wouldn't think you'd want to be in Target necessarily, right? I mean, would you?
I wouldn't say that we wouldn't. If the right deal came along, yeah, we certainly would.
Okay.
Target or Walmart. I know that there have been people that we know that in the industry that have gotten into Target and Walmart, and they enjoy being in there. They're kind of set up for it. We're really not right now. It's not saying we won't ever be. But if the deal was right, we would do it. But if we were going to do it, I do believe, we've discussed it many times, and I do believe that the way that we would approach it is that the figures that are released in a Target or Walmart would be, we would do re-releases of some previously released figures, but they would be toned down a little bit, maybe less accessories, maybe less paint applications, slightly different altered packaging. So it's not, it doesn't take anything away from the figures that are already out there that you bought through store Horsemen or bought through one of our retailers.
Right.
It would be probably slightly modified to make it a little bit more cost effective for that type of store, to where we can price it down on our end, and they can still, everybody can still make money on it, and it just depends on the deal. But I think that's the way
Legion builder levels of some of the named characters or something.
Yeah.
Right.
As long as there wouldn't be any Walmart or Target exclusives that no one could ever find.
Just Otho. That's the only one we would make a Target exclusive.
Right.
So like Legion builder levels of like named characters and stuff that would be with maybe
that's a good
fewer accessories and stuff. Yeah. Interesting.
Cool.
That'd be interesting. course, we'd all have to have them anyway. I mean, because then that would be, the Target version of,
right.
Couldn't be
Gorgo
complete
or
if you didn't
whatever,
have those, right?
or Clavian, or Balam. Balam. Let's take a little bit of a step back in your career and so you grew up. I know was listening to some other interviews, and I've listened to a bunch of them. But hey, Curtis. Oh, okay. Let's get Curtis's super chat in here. Cornboy has said that there could be other Fury Clan members that aren't orcs. Would they also have red skin? And is there a mystical reason for it?
Well, I'm not going to give any insight to the reason, but yes, they would have red skin. And I'll give you a little hint. You're going to be seeing some of those soon.
Ooh.
Yes, you are.
Oh.
Right, Trevor?
Yep. That's it. That's all you get. Yeah, I love.
I thought you were just
what
adjusting
you
your camera to.
What's that?
I thought you were just adjusting your camera to swing it over to see what's on your photography table, maybe.
Oh no. There's no evidence. There's no evidence here. Thank you, Curtis, for the super chat. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
man.
thanks, Curtis.
Yeah, I love the Fury Clan orcs, man. I'm all about the Fury Clan orcs. It was like a figure that I was like, meh, and now I've customized like 6 of them now at this point.
Well, the thing is, I've always been in love with them too. Red's my favorite color, so I've always been in love with those figures. And then when I saw Nikki Nicole did like that group of Fury orcs, she was the first person that did. A lot of people have done it since then, but she had like a whole tribe of Fury Clan orcs.
Yep.
I was like, oh, we got to do more of those soon, but not just orcs. The other denizens in the Fury Orc clan.
They look
awesome.
They look so good, man. Yeah, they look so good together. I've got a bunch of them now with different heads and different weapons and tops and all that stuff. So you grew up collecting. I know you were a big collector of Migos and Micronauts, right? You did Micronauts as well?
Yeah, I wouldn't say I was a big collector of anything because I wasn't very well off when I was a kid, but as much as I could collect, those were the two that were like those were my go-to toy lines when I was a kid.
Back in the day, man, Migos are just so cool. I mean, I love my Star Wars figures, but the posability of Migos, you couldn't beat it, man. It was just so much more fun to play.
Not at all.
The Planet of the Apes.
1 second.
What?
I had Migos later.
Oh, damn. Nice.
My holy grail.
Wow.
And I have all 4 of them over there, but I'm just bringing my favorite one over. But
nice.
When I got my first job in the toy industry, which was at McFarlane Toys.
Yep. I see that again.
I said, I'm going to go buy.
Beautiful.
I'm going to find and hunt down and buy the Mego Fantastic Fours in the boxes like I had when I was a kid, and I did that.
Nice.
And they're in beautiful condition. The Invisible Woman doesn't have the Mego molt where her face turns kind of gray, or Mr. Fantastic. The soft goods on them is just mint perfect.
Wow.
But I don't just leave them in the box, though.
Really? You take them out?
Take them out and play with them, yeah.
Nice.
Wow. You're a brave man.
I love
rare,
I don't know,
the Fantastic Four was tough to find. I remember that. I had all the DC characters, and then I had Spider-Man, and there was another Marvel figure that I had, but the Fantastic Four was hard to find. I think they were probably low production numbers on those.
What were you gonna say, Nick?
I was just gonna say I love the fact that you use your first paycheck from working for a toy company to go out and buy your toys from a kid. That's beautiful.
I had to.
Yep.
Had to. Like when I was at the Kubert school, like that was my dream. I was like, I want to. Then I was going to school to be a comic artist. So I said my first comic book paycheck, I'm going to hunt down those figures, and I'm going to spend whatever I have to spend out of my paycheck on them just so I can get those figures, and then worry about bills after that.
There you go. Priorities, man.
Paycheck was a toy company, so
beautiful. Love it.
So I want to talk about that in a minute too, but have you picked up any of the new Migos? And is there any interest in those at all, or no? Just don't do it for you anymore.
Mezco started releasing the Mezco 112 Collective.
I know it's
hard.
I
have no interest in new Migos.
I know. I picked up the Stan Lee. The Stan Lee was kind of cool, and it was like I got a little bit of a Stan Lee collection or whatever, just a couple, 2 or 3 figures, and at least that's kind of a standalone figure that I feel like I could just have on the shelf and not have to worry about getting a whole team or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, they just don't do it for me anymore.
When they have a Jack Kirby
yeah.
collection, I'll be interested.
Hell yeah. Hasbro needs to do a Jack Kirby figure, man.
Yes.
That's got to happen. It's got to happen. There's a couple of things. Yeah, had the thing. Loved him. Iron Man and the Hulk. Yeah, I didn't have Iron Man and the Hulk. I don't know why. My parents got me all the DC stuff. And I was like, okay.
I had Shazam. But
yeah,
even
I think I had Shazam.
Even as I got older, I didn't go back and buy Amigo Shazam. I instead had this one that stands on my computer tower from Mezco. It's like,
there you go.
Shazam is my favorite DC hero. It was my dad's favorite comic book character. Yeah,
that's cool.
I didn't know that. I knew the thing, but I didn't know Shazam. That's cool.
You want to see something from when I was a kid?
Sure.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Oh, there you go.
It's an old placemat. I'm not even a huge Shazam fan, but
that is awesome.
It's like a Pepsi placemat.
Is that like Wally West? Who drew that?
I'm not sure.
That's so classic.
That's
Love
classic.
it.
Wally West is the Flash. What do you mean Wally West?
Oh, not Wally West. Wally
Wood?
What's his name? Yeah, was it Wally Wood?
Pepsi.
I don't know.
Is there a date on that, Bill?
78.
Nice.
Stop bending it. You're scaring the crap out of me.
You play with your toys. Stop.
When I was a kid.
Quit playing with your dinghy.
But yeah, that was always on my table when I was a kid.
I love that freaking
So
show,
cool.
man. That was the greatest show on TV on Saturday morning was Shazam and ISIS, that Power Hour or whatever it was. It was so cool. I love that show.
It
still holds up,
too. I would have to devise some sort of a movable frame where you could flip it around and see the back, and then you have to turn it up so you can see the comics.
Or
and stuff.
just get two and have.
There you go.
Get another one.
So you mentioned the Kubert School. So you wanted to be a comic book artist. That was one of my dreams as well. What made you stop?
Well,
I know what made me stop.
The toy industry made me stop because I actually went to comic book school because I didn't know that toys, like the interesting part of toys, for the most part, is done here in America. Like, the design, the prototyping, all that stuff. And only the manufacturing was done overseas. Because if you pick up a toy, it says made in Japan, made in Taiwan, made in China. And as a kid, I thought, these were made over there, and then they just ship them here.
They design them there.
So I decided to go to school for comic books instead because I love comics. I love drawing. And I started going to school for comic books. And then I met up with a guy who knew a guy who knew a guy who put me in touch with McFarlane Toys. And they took a look at my pathetic, horrible portfolio. And I guess they said, let's let this idiot come and play around over here. And we'll give him a paycheck because he's so into it.
So what was your portfolio for that?
On me, and I got hired there.
What was your portfolio for that? What did you have to show them?
It was nothing more than a bunch of like character drawings and some of the work that I'd done at the Kubert School. It wasn't really even toy design.
Gotcha.
But it was stuff that I'd done I might have had some sketches in there of like toys that I would want to make or something like that. I don't even remember at this point, but it was not great. I will admit that. It was not
so.
Were they mostly about existing characters, CB, or stuff that you'd created on your own too?
Stuff I created and existing both, yeah.
Cool.
So low bar for McFarlane employment apparently at the time.
At that time, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I don't think that's true because Eric Treadaway was working there, and that kid is a phenomenon. So
yeah, he is. He is a phenom. It's crazy.
I really think that they just thought, oh, you know what, this kid needs a better job than working in a machine shop. So let's.
I mean, they keep calling him Cornboy, so like, let's get that guy out of there, man. What the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you might have dodged a bullet there because all I knew was that with drawing and stuff, I was really into it, and I practiced a lot, and I asked for reviews and things like that. My problem was just I was really, really slow. I mean, really slow. I mean, then when somebody told me like you got to turn out a couple pages a day or at least a page a day.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, this is not going to happen. And like, and how much you get paid? I'm like, yeah, this is not going to happen.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
this is not going to happen.
that's one thing that I learned at the Kubert School. First and foremost is perseverance. Like, you had to knuckle down, put your face in that paper, put the pencil and ink pen in hand, and just go to town and crank out whatever you possibly could. You had to do a good job, but you had to do the best job you possibly could in the amount of time that was allotted. And the most important thing is the deadline. You have to hit that deadline. So you do whatever you can, whether it means not sleeping for 2 days, whatever you got to do to hit that deadline. And I'm still that way when it comes to my business today. You know, I'm doing a lot of project managing now. And if a sculptor comes to us and says, you know, I have this, you know, issue that, you know, I'm going to miss the deadline, good. Tell me a little bit early so we can make plans. But if they wait until the day that the deadline hits and says I'm not going to be able to finish it, just drives me crazy. I know it's something in my head, and I mean, if the people have legitimate reasons, I understand that, and stuff happens, and especially if it's something unexpected. But
it's not a
if
habit.
you know you're going to miss that deadline, talk to whoever's you're working with and let them know so you can try to tighten that up. But
right.
Yeah, I still got that in my head now. It's just
a question that Nate, you had a question
in the time that's allotted.
There you go. Yeah, and speaking of project managing people like that, is I think Nate, you had a question about in terms of like the stuff that you guys are doing for some of these other companies. Go ahead, you ask.
Well, I was just curious, sort of how you balance out, you know, your Four Horsemen for hire kind of stuff, as opposed to the work that you do on Mythic and Cosmic and whatever else is coming from you guys. That's your original stuff. What's the balance like there?
Eric is doing almost everything having to do with Mythic Legions and Cosmic Legions.
Wow.
Like literally, as far as sculpting goes and the storyline and everything, he's handled almost all of it now. Now, we do have other freelance sculptors that will have come in and help out with weapons and accessories and things like that. But the major bulk of that, he's doing the sculpting on all the figures. Like I said before, he's a phenomenon. He's just unstoppable.
Crazy.
And I'm handling the project management on most of all of our outside projects. And then we hire, that's Baxter. He's trying to get on camera. Yeah. He's a pain in the butt.
Boy.
I love him, but he's a pain in the butt. But we have other freelance sculptors that help out with a lot of the project management. George Gaspar is also a fairly new employee at the studio. He's helping out with project management on some of that stuff too. But that's pretty much how things are doled out now. We are doing a lot of outside work. You know, we always have done a lot of outside work. We've done a lot of it with Mattel for years.
Yeah.
So
Super 7, you've been doing a lot more with Super 7 lately.
Super 7.
Some great stuff coming out. I got a couple of those here. I got one of these guys.
Oh, nice. You got the Disney stuff, huh?
These are fantastic, man. I am not a Disney guy.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm not a Disney guy, but I love these things, man. They're really, really cool.
That's the one that I really want to see in person.
I'm just looking forward to shooting it because it's just going to be different, you know, than the stuff I usually do, and it's just very. I always wanted to do some cartoon-like stuff, and you know, I love Robin Hood. I mean, Disney Robin Hood is like my favorite thing as a kid, and just the fact that you're going to get Robin Hood figures is nuts. I think it's crazy.
How did the soft goods turn out on those? They look good.
Really, really nice. Yeah, Prince John looks great. The cloth is really, really nice.
Wow,
I haven't opened Mickey yet. I've got Mickey. I haven't opened him yet. So we'll see. But soft goods on Prince John look really, really nice.
Nice. C. Jessom
great
did
job.
The prototypes for those on us for us on those, and I was hoping
boy's
that the
everywhere.
factory would be able to nail it.
The boy's everywhere. He's everywhere.
Yeah.
Good for him. I can't wait for Robin Hood either. Really stoked to see that. Yep. Stitch looks great. All the Alice in Wonderland stuff that I don't think I pre-ordered, I kind of want now. I just want to shoot it. And now Mezco. So let's talk about that a little bit. And I know you can't talk about it too much.
Right. I started to say I think those Disney figures are kind of like there's one of those. They're one of those figures where you're like, oh, Disney, that's cool, but I don't really want them. And then you get them in your hand, you go, crap, this is really good. I need to order this.
Yeah. Well, knowing you guys did them and just seeing the stylization of them, I just had to like hold them. You know what I mean? I just had to try it out and see if I liked them, and I really do like them. Yeah, the Alice in Wonderland stuff looks great. I know you can't talk too much about Mezco, but you are. You did work on Doctor Doom, which is looking awesome. Cannot wait to get that in hand. Can you talk about what you guys did, or is that?
Yeah, we did the Doctor Doom figure for Mezco. The only
the whole thing
we didn't do the that energy siphon harness thing.
Okay,
with him. Yep. We didn't do that. That was done after we were finished with the project. It's a cool addition. I really like it, especially since I'm getting that Galactus that has the Doom head. That's kind of a cool addition. I might have to get a second Galactus now.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I bought a couple Galactuses. I don't know why.
And we didn't do the soft goods on Doctor Doom.
Okay.
But we did all the sculpting and everything, and
so the whole thing, the whole body and everything. Wow.
Looks great. The head, the the faces that you get to see, they look so cool.
Cool. I will say, I'm not revealing anything, but I will say everything that's interesting about that figure has not yet been revealed. So people who get that in hand are going to go, wow.
Oh, boy.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice. So this is a bottom-up body and everything that you had to work on to sculpt the... Wow,
from top to bottom. From head to toe.
That's great. That's great.
We base it on the frame of the Chris Reeves figure.
Okay.
Because it's kind of a thin figure, and then we built the armor on top of it, and so it would have that. We tightened it up in places so it has that nice curvy, classic Doctor Doom look. But it looks like a figure that size. He shouldn't be underneath that armor a big burly muscular guy. He should just be a normal guy wearing this more kind of muscular looking armor.
Right.
And we did it that way, built it kind of like around that framework in order to get that feel.
Nice.
That's awesome. So knowing what a big Mezco fan you are, that had to have been a thrill. And any more collabs coming up with them that you can yes or no at least?
No, well, none whatsoever just yet. What happened with that is, I've known Mez for years. We've been friends for way back to when he was doing work with Digger from Art Asylum on some projects. And I've known him since way back then. And, we have booths next to each other had when we used to go to San Diego Comic-Con, had booths next to each other every year. And we'd stop and talk and hang out and stuff. And then he knew that I was a big Fantastic Four fan. And I've been saying for years, when you guys go to do Fantastic Four, please give me a call. Well,
cool.
They did the Fantastic Four. And then he said, you know what? You guys want to do Fantastic Four stuff. We got the Doom coming up. Do you guys want to do that? I guess he'd seen the Mythic Legions stuff, realized, these guys know how to do armor. And he said, hey, you want to do this? And I was like, heck yeah, let's figure it out. How we're going to do this. So
nice.
And he pretty much he had another project manager on the project in the beginning, and then he took it over, and his vision was just kind of almost exactly where my vision was, or the rest of us in the studio where we wanted to be. We wanted to be a very classic looking Doctor Doom, but with that, that Mezco twist here and there.
Yeah.
And he even comes with a more modern mask that you can put on his face if you want to do a slightly different version of Doctor Doom. But I was thrilled not only to get to do, work on the Doctor Doom figure because he's my favorite supervillain of all time, but also to get to work on Mezco products because currently it's my favorite action figure of all time, line of all time. So
outside of Mythic Legions, of course.
Yeah. I mean, besides our own products, of course.
Sure.
That's cool, man. That's
do you lean towards any their own stuff, like their Rumble Society stuff over, like the DC or Fantastic Four, or you just love all everything they put out?
Well, I love all of it. It's just I have every single figure they've done so far. I mean, every one. And I love everything that they've done, but Marvel, I've been a Marvel kid since I was little. So anything they do Marvel, I'm like, yes, and I buy at least one of everything. But DC, when they release DC stuff, I'm on that too. I'm not as into Batman as everybody else is, so I've got a lot of Batmans on the shelves over there that, I mean, I gotta have them because I gotta have them, but they're Batman. But yeah, the Marvel stuff is where it's at for me, and I love the Rumble Society stuff too, but Marvel's where it's at for me.
Cool. What do you think of this dude? Did you? I know you got him. Did you open him up yet?
Oh yeah, yep. I actually I haven't put him on the shelf yet. I just set the baggie with him and his accessories and it aside over there before the show, so it wouldn't be cluttered up stuff over here. Him and Captain Nemo just got moved to the other side of the room.
I love that Captain Nemo. That's right up my alley.
Yeah, fantastic. Can't wait to get the crew.
Oh yeah,
I ordered it.
Me too.
I originally skipped it, and then when I started seeing pictures and the opportunity to order it on Dorkside Toys came up, I was like, all right, I'm grabbing it now. And that finally shipped out like a week ago.
Yeah, it's a great figure, man. It's really, really nice. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the crew, too, to have a little more to do with them. And now I probably need a Nautilus Dio or something like that. I'm going to have to talk to somebody, spend more money. My only problem with this guy is his holding the weapons isn't. I don't know. There's something wrong with the hands that they.
The hand fits on those are.
It's a little weird. The other ones have no problem. I don't know why this one does. I'm not really. Sure.
I had seen that there were some complaints with some of the hands on the Krieg figures, but I haven't had an issue with mine.
Interesting. I think it's just a heat thing. I could probably heat it up and just kind of squish it together a little bit. But it's cool.
Action. Now, are Dork Lair and Dorkside Toys, are they affiliated or not?
No.
I get that a lot.
I thought maybe you're going to get a freebie through Dorkside Toys or something.
I get on Instagram quite a bit. Somebody will message me once in a while and with a Dorkside Toys, customer service request, and I'm like, that's not me.
Where's my figure?
Dork Lair, Dorkside, Legion's Lair, Legion's Lounge. It's like, geez, how do we keep them all straight?
Legion Shop, Legion Side, Dork Legions. Yeah, it's all over the place.
That does lead me into CB. I did want to ask you
from. I want to get that. Sorry, I want to get that in.
Oh, whoops. Sorry, I just hit a comment on accident.
Love to hear Eric's favorite figure of 2021, if you have one, and maybe his favorite Mezco from the last year. Probably the same thing, I'm thinking.
2021.
Last year. I know, it seems like...
Ones that I've pre-ordered or ones that I have in hand?
Anything that came out, I think, last year is the sort of the parameter. Anything that came out last year, Conan
released.
Yeah, released. Yeah.
The Conan was a fantastic figure. I mean, if you're talking about pre-orders, it would have been Galactus. How could it not be?
Right.
I really like I don't think you can see it over there, the Sentinel.
Okay, I was going to say, did you get the Sentinel? Of course you got the
Sentinel. Yeah, got that. Nice. I really like that a lot.
It's great.
Gosh, in the last year, I don't know.
I know, I can't even remember what came out last year at this point. I know that Conan was one of my favorites.
That was a top tier item for me too. That might have been my favorite release of the year too.
And Arethyr was up there as well.
Of stuff that I got, yeah, I mean Arethyr, of course.
Yeah, Arethyr made a lot of Arethyr made a lot of top 10 lists, man. It was like,
oh, really?
Nice. Yeah, a lot of people on YouTube had their top 10s, and he definitely made it in there, which was really cool to see. I was really happy to see that.
That's one thing that I've always thought that we should do is go back, all of toy history and dig up all the stuff that, like, our figures have won awards for, like whatever place in top 10 lists, and we've gotten actual awards from like Action Figure Insider and Toy Fair magazine and stuff like that, and put a list of those on Source Horsemen.
Definitely. Nate had a question about that.
I did want to pick your brain a little bit about glad you brought that up. Like, if you any come to mind that some that you're most proud of over the years?
I mean, Toy Fair definitely gave us a lot of awards over the years, and that was pretty cool because there was a time when they were the top of the heap as far as geek culture goes. Like if you wanted news about action figures or toys in general, Toy Fair magazine was where you went, because the internet wasn't that big then. There were a couple of little message boards like Raving Toy Maniac and a couple of others that were out there that were kind of cool, but Toy Fair was always it for me. So getting awards from them was cool. But
it's
I
like
think
getting the Oscar, right?
Yeah, well, kind of. But I think the Oscar really comes is that we actually got an award from Mattel one time. And which was super cool, because we weren't actually part of the company. These were awards that they would give away to people or groups in the company that, you know, made a big difference in Mattel. And while we were working on the 2000X Masters of the Universe stuff, they gave us an award.
Nice.
I can't remember what it was, but it was some, I don't know, company greatness award, and we shouldn't have even gotten that because we weren't really part of the company.
Part of the company, right?
That's great. That speaks volumes, though.
That was a heck of an honor. That was great.
That is great. Congrats.
Yeah, that's something that we'll have to do, because we still have those in a case at the studio, and we'll have to get some photos of all those and like send them over to Jeremy and have him put them up on Source Horsemen. That's cool.
Super cool.
Yeah, I was trying to grab some pictures that came up in a YouTube search, but they exist in perpetuity there, but they're not on the site from when you guys did San Diego Comic-Con, I think right after the Kickstarter, and there was a whole bunch of test shots in white or something like that. And you could see the picture, but you couldn't grab a good copy of it because that site is just, it was action figure photos or something like that. It seemed like, I don't remember it, but it was a big site. Maybe it was Action Figure Picks. Yes, AIP. That's what it was.
Maybe that rings a bell for some reason.
Yeah. They did a lot. They were kind of the toy arc of the time, I think.
Yeah.
There's Christian himself. Bellius was his figure of the year. What's up, man?
So, Eric, now that you brought up Toy Fair magazine, we were talking earlier too about, you know, obviously that was around for a long time, and then, like you said, some like website forums kind of came up. But since then, I was just curious, like, what do you think, like, toy photography, this crazy hobby that has seemed to pop up and flourish now, has done for the industry?
Well, I mean, the photos never capture the way the stuff looks in person.
Damn you!
Oh, perfect.
Photography.
Well, that's all the time we have.
You knocked that softball pitch right out of the park.
Fucker.
When we first started Mythic Legions, it was always meant to be a toy line that you could like take it apart and reassemble, kind of like the Glyos figures, and create your own creations from them. But when we went to the 6-inch scale and still were able to make them modular to where you could separate them and reconfigure them to kind of create your own customs, you know, we knew that struck a little bit of a chord in people, but we didn't realize what it was going to start. And it has become just this amazing customizing community that we never expected. We never foresaw that at all. And it just keeps growing and growing. And from that, it's also created a photographer community, I think. There's always been people that like photograph action figures and they like play with them and they make, you know, cool dioramas or scenes and stuff, and they photograph them. But since the release of Mythic Legions, I have never seen as many people taking pictures of their figures and posting them online as they do of those figures. I'm blown away by it.
Yeah.
And it's bringing talent out of the woodwork. Like, people are following people like Trevor, some of the icons that, you know, do these beautiful shots and stuff. And it's inspiring them, and it's you know, bringing out their creativity. And if they can't customize, if they can't paint or sew or whatever, they have a new outlet for this type of customizing.
Yeah.
And I think it's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's amazing to see that.
Nate does, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, you couple that then with, you know, YouTube channels now and podcasts, and you know, it just continues to expand, I guess. And I mean, it's obviously all great for toy creators.
Well, we are in, I've said it for a while now, we are in a new golden age of toys and action figures.
For sure.
Like the brick and mortar stores are kind of done, other than like Target and Walmart and a couple others. Like you can go to Walgreens and get exclusives, things like that. But we have entered a new era of action figures where it's bigger and better than ever before. Like not just the collecting of the figures, but everything everybody does with them. Yeah. We're still big kids. We don't just play with them and bang them into each other and like, you know, put them in poses and stuff. We're doing all kinds of new and unusual and creative things with them. And it's nothing that I've ever seen before. And I love it.
Yeah. 3D printing and just, it's such a great time.
I think Will makes a good, toy photography definitely makes these new figures look how you remember playing with toys. But I was just thinking about this earlier when I was thinking about like your Mego growing up and like when, like you started customizing when you were young. And like I pulled out this Han Solo because I had drawn a beard on him when I was like, you know, this is the thing I had when I was like 10 years old or something like that. And I drew a beard on him, not thinking this is going to be worth any money anytime. I don't really care. But it's just like the way these move, like I was trying to like actually pose him. I'm like, you know, I should shoot these guys. I should just do something. But I mean, that's it. You know what I mean? That's what you'd get out of Han Solo right there in terms of action.
Yeah.
But you thought in your mind that he was doing all this cool stuff, and it didn't matter. You were just doing this, and he was running after the stormtroopers, and it was so much fun. And that's like putting the stuff on the table and actually being able to, you know, put scenes together. And it's awesome. And there's people like that follow Nate and that have gotten into your figures more and more. I see people like, I don't know if I want to get into them. I'm late to the game. And I'm like, just pick up a skeleton or something, man. Just try it out. It's like, I feel like a drug dealer. I'm like, first one's free.
We're seeing a lot of that with this line too. People being
and that's it.
Dealers.
They're in.
Pushers.
Yeah, they're in, man. They're in right after that. Yeah. They take it out and they do the same thing I did when I opened it up. Was like, wow, ooh, yeah, I like this. It's great. So many people jumping on that, and yeah, the customizing is nuts, man. That's the other thing I tell people too when I go on these shows and stuff. It's like that's a whole freaking world. It's a whole world. It's a whole quasi industry of people doing this stuff, and
it really is
so much fun, man. It doesn't exist in almost any other group. I know there's people who customize Marvel Legends. You do, but I don't know. It's just like there's not as much of it as there is in Mythic Legions. It's just incredible.
Yeah, it's unbelievable the amount of growth that we've seen in just the past couple of years of the customizing community. And I mean, we have you, Jeremy Gerard, and Nikki Nicole, and a bunch of other people to thank for that. You know, Walt at the Mythic Legions Cabal. I mean, he's built this community that's, for the most part, very welcoming and helpful when need be. Dennis Derby, I'm speaking of helpful. I mean, there's been such an amazing community built around Mythic Legions that I have never seen before in toy collecting. Like I've seen a lot of, you know, fan message boards. A lot of them are very toxic. And the Mythic Legions board is so different. You're going to have your moments where people are whiny or they're complaining or, you know, people are like jumping in and beating people up. You're going to see that on any message board, but it's so much different overall on the Mythic Legions Cabal or just the community itself than I've ever seen.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
That, Eric,
go ahead. Yeah,
I was just going to say, if we've got some new people on tonight that maybe even new to the Cabal, and even for the veterans, any advice you'd give them as far as how to handle themselves on the Cabal or out there in the community?
Yeah, it's easy. Just be nice. People are going to come in that are brand new, that are going to ask questions like, oh, why is this taking so long? I haven't gotten my stuff yet. Of course, you immediately think, uh-oh, this guy's going to get torn apart.
Yeah,
the person they don't know. Just educate them. Just help them out. Just tell them, I know you're new here, but this is how things go, and this is how this community works. And if you just like go back and like do some searches and read through some things before just jumping out and asking questions, I think you're going to find your time here a little bit more enjoyable. And
that's good advice for anybody on any group.
Welcomed into the community pretty quickly.
for sure.
That's good advice for anybody on any group. And I would say if you are going into it from, coming from this show or any place else, definitely come at it with a level of respect. I mean, if you're coming out and you do have a question, you don't know what's going on. Am I supposed to be getting this? It looks like other people are getting this. Why haven't I gotten mine? But don't come out with an attack.
Right.
I mean, that's like the first, you're new. Just people are very, very helpful. Super helpful. Way more helpful than I've ever seen on any other group, like you said. And Walter does a great job of keeping that in line, and it makes for a very nice place and a very helpful place.
And it's not, I mean, I'm giving all the credit for Walter. Walter was the guy who built the Cabal. Walter who was the guy who oversaw it. I mean, he had a partner in the beginning that worked with him that kind of moved on from there. But then Walter also has some great moderators that really help him out and really do a great job on the Cabal too. I mean, we couldn't be more thankful to those guys for really building and maintaining that community. We jump on and, we interact here and there, but there's no way we could handle that ourselves. No way we could deal with it ourselves.
No. And it's sometimes it's not a good idea either for a brand to be running their own group like that directly. I've seen that happen, and I've seen where that's gone awry.
Get way down in the weeds and say the wrong thing.
You have to do things sometimes that you don't want to be the brand that people love has to do. You know what I mean? So you're just like, we're there. We're part of the community. We're in there. We'll talk to you. We'll post. We'll whatever. But this is a whole other thing.
I will be the first person to admit that I don't know what your whole language rating is here on things, so I'll go nice.
Oh, go ahead. Go nice.
I'm a complete butthole, and I can be a complete butthole from time to time, especially online. I'm not a keyboard warrior. I'm willing to back it up face to face with anything that I say online. But I'm the first to admit that I'm a pain in the butt sometimes, and I try not to be, but sometimes it gets the best of me. And everybody has that issue. Everybody, every once in a while, they're going to snap. They're going to say something they shouldn't say. Just
of course.
But try your best to be as good a person as you can, especially in groups like the Cabal, where new people are coming in a lot now, and they're going to need some guidance here and there.
Yeah, absolutely. I can be a butthole too, but it does make you want to not be that way on there. You know what I mean? I found myself a couple of times wanting to just go off on somebody, but you contain yourself.
Yeah, before you hit enter, think about it, or just keep moving.
Right. Yep. Yeah, it's just a great community, man. It's and we just did the pop and swap contest, which was so much fun, and everybody had a great time with it, and everybody was so involved, man. It's so cool to see that. Yeah, it's amazing. It's an amazing group. Let's see. So, Fantastic Four. What got you into Fantastic Four? Like, what was it? Was it Kirby era stuff, or John Byrne, or you just have always loved the Fantastic Four?
I don't know that it was Kirby. I mean, I guess it was probably Kirby era stuff, but the first thing that I ever got, the first comic that I ever got, was a Marvel 2-in-1 in my Easter basket. And I had seen Fantastic Four characters before that, but hadn't really read comics. I had flipped through a couple that my brother had around that were like probably DC or maybe some horror comics or something like that. But when I got that comic, it was just done. The Thing was like, who is this guy? Yeah. This guy's awesome. And I went to a local comic book store and sat down there and started. I used to sit at the comic book store on the floor next to the bins of comics that like they use them and flip through them and read them, just sitting there. They didn't complain. They didn't say anything to me.
That's a good comic.
Eventually, I started buying them, and I got a job at the local pizza place cleaning the parking lot simply so I could spend money at the comic store and buy Fantastic Four comics.
There you go. I got a job at the comic book store so I could get a discount on the comics.
That's see, you did it the smart way. I was a dumb fat kid and I didn't know how to do that kind of stuff. But this comic store also had a thing where you could it was a complete ripoff, but you bring in 2 comics plus a nickel and you got a free back issue comic. Not a new one or not one of the like really expensive one, but to me that was cool. So a friend of mine, Danny Smith, and I, when I was growing up, he was my best friend. We found this old abandoned house where it had been boarded up for years, and we found an open window. And he and I always get into trouble. So of course we're climbing in this place and going looking in this house. The floors were just completely covered with like old Playboys, penthouses, Hustler,
Jackpot.
like from the 60s and 70s. And it was also covered with tons and tons of comic books.
Wow.
Well, I grew up in a very religious household, so I knew if I snuck home with a bunch of Playboys, penthouses, or Hustlers, those were not getting through the door without me getting a bloody nose. So I took all the comics that were there.
A lot of Hail Marys.
Took all the porn magazines. Of course, as soon as he got home, his mom saw him and threw them all in the garbage.
Oh.
I had tons. I had Avengers #2, and it was in beautiful condition. Like,
wow.
I had some old Tales of Suspense with the Hulk or the Thing. I mean, the Hulk or Thor. I don't remember which one it was.
Right.
But
yeah, I think Thor was.
I had probably had 100 old comics from the 60s and 70s. Most of them I didn't give that much of a crap about, because they weren't Fantastic Four. So I took them to this comic book store and traded them in 2 for 1 plus a nickel.
That's great.
I got rid of some comics that probably were thousands of dollars today.
Wow.
I totally would have done the same thing though, man. That's a great deal.
That's
a great story though. Love it.
Yeah.
I gotta talk about this really quick. Let's see.
Here's something before you go on to the next thing. Will White, specifically Billy Beige.
Billy Beige.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Requested that I put this guy on camera.
Nice.
This is a Thing figure that Eric Treadaway sculpted for Christmas. I don't know, must have been 15 years ago.
Wow.
But it's kind of like the Byrne era thing, and it was molded and cast. That's why you see the blue in the joint here, because he's actually articulated, but it's all cast in blue urethane, and then he painted him up and gave him to me for Christmas. He's articulated at the waist. He's articulated, literally fantastic. Articulated at the hips. He has articulated shoulders, elbows, wrists, and a ball and socket head. But
I gotta be honest, I like the proportions and I like the head of that better than the Hasbro one. I like this a lot. It's great.
Me too.
It's fantastic. Fantastic. Yes, I said it again. It's great. It's incredible.
Yeah. So that's him.
Very nice.
That's the Thing that Eric Treadaway sculpted me.
What a treasure.
And he has one too. There's only 2 on the planet. I have one and he has one.
There you go.
So
There's 2.
Eric Treadaway was at McFarlane before you got there?
Yeah. Probably by a year or 2.
And you guys just started working together and obviously hit it off pretty quick?
Yeah. Yeah, Jim Preziosi, my other partner at Fourhorsemen Studios, was also at McFarlane Toys. Right. And we decided we wanted to do our own thing. We had a connection at Mattel, and we called Mattel, contacted them, and they were into it. So we left McFarlane Toys and started our own company and started working with Mattel.
I like the story about you going there in suits. And they are all there.
You want me to tell that one again?
And, no, you don't have to recount it again. But it's a funny story. Look it up. There's CB's been on a lot of podcasts and a lot of things. So he'll tell that story. But so
we were all in suit and ties, and the guys at Mattel were just like in just normal button-up shirt and khaki shorts and stuff. And we looked like the New Jersey Mafia flying out to El Segundo, California to Mattel for a meeting.
Oh, you had that little mustache too. You had that Don.
Oh yeah, had the ponytail mustache.
Yeah, it's great.
Classic.
How did this become a Cornboy figure? How did this become Cornboy? I mean, I know that there are figures out there. I probably know the lore of this. And this is your face. You can. I think you can actually see that mustache on that face. Actually,
yeah, he has like little.
Right, he's got the mustache right?
And a little flavor saver. He actually has a ponytail too, which I had at the time.
That's not what I'm going to go to.
So what happened was...
that's not it. That's not what I want to see. There we go.
So what had happened?
There's a little mustache.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah. And rather than having the glasses, he has the mechanical eye, so I don't need the glasses.
The mechanical. Right.
And he has the big red boots because I wore red Nike high tops all the time at that time.
Oh,
now my
all right. I
ankles
didn't know that.
and my feet are too
So
wrecked to be able to wear those anymore, but I have to wear real shoes now. So what happened was that actually started out as a joke, and Eric Treadaway or Bill Mancuso or somebody there at McFarlane Toys took an old, I think it was E Honda from the 3 3/4 inch GI Joe line or something.
Mm-hmm.
There was an E Honda that was in that scale, and they dressed him up like me, gave him a little ponytail, and said, "Oh, it's Cornboy." And they put him in a little Spawn packaging or something like that, some kind of packaging, and it was hilarious. And I think it ended up in like Lee's Toy Review or Tomarts or one of those toy magazines. Well, people actually started requesting that figure. Where is this from? What is this? They didn't put in the magazine that it was a joke, that it wasn't a real figure.
I didn't know the story.
Yeah, people thought it was real and were requesting the figure, saying, "What is this? How do I get this?" And it was just this really badly done little custom of this fat E Honda figure to look like me. And Todd saw it, Todd McFarlane, and he said, "We got to make that into an actual figure." So Eric Treadaway sketched up this, what you're seeing on the screen here. He sketched up the Cornboy figure, and I actually fabricated all the weapons and accessories. That was one of my earlier fabrication jobs. All the weapons and accessories, mechanical stuff that's on him, I did all that. Eric sculpted the figure. And then the ponytail that he has there, I think that's the prototype. If that is the prototype, that's my actual hair.
Oh my God!
So I had the long ponytail. We were like, well, we gotta put a ponytail on him. And of course, Tony, the guy who owned McFarlane Toys division, the area that actually did the toys, McFarlane Toys AEB, Tony Bellato, he said, "Can we get a piece of your hair to put on there to make the ponytail?" I'm like, he goes, "We got to be accurate, right?" I was like, "All right." So they took a little piece of my hair and Eric glued it into the back there and sent it off to the factory. So they used an actual piece of my hair to make the ponytail to use that as reference to create the fake ponytail.
I bet you'd like to have that back now.
That's wild.
I actually still had a lot of hair when I shaved it off, but I decided it was
me too. I did the same thing. Me too. I shaved it off when I actually had long hair like this.
Yeah. I actually had kind of short hair. It wasn't as long there as it was by the time I cut it. It was only like right down to my shoulders or a little longer.
So what kind of music did you guys play? Was it Dokken and stuff like that? It was.
We did some Dokken, yeah. It was like hard rock, heavy metal, hair band stuff, that kind of thing. Yep. Loud screaming. I was a screaming AC/DC, Judas Priest.
Priest.
All that kind of stuff.
So were you? Yeah, you were lead singer then.
Yeah. Well, it started out. I started out playing bass in a band, and we couldn't find a good lead singer.
That. Woo. Sexy.
Meatloaf. Somebody jokingly mentioned Meatloaf. I think
that was Len McGuardia.
Yeah.
First thing I thought of.
Actually came up to me on stage one time. It wasn't after the gig. It was between sets. And she was like, "Oh my God, I love you. You look so much like Meatloaf." And I was like, I'll take that as a compliment, I guess.
Did you say, "Will you love me forever"?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like you just had to go with it when you were in a band. I had a little Axl Rose thing going on for a little while, and I was like,
we did some Guns N' Roses.
Yeah, whatever. That's fine. I'll take that. That's fine.
Yeah.
I miss my hair.
Wow.
So how do you pronounce this? Bethaven or Bethaven?
Bethaven.
Bethaven.
Just one word. Bethaven. Okay. It's.
I love these posters and stuff that we had to make up by ourselves were the best things in the world, man. Yeah. Going out to some graveyard or some junkyard and taking pictures. It was the best.
This was actually.
You felt like a real rock star.
This was actually the front steps of a church that was near the house I was living in at the time. and all the weird stuff on the sides of the doorway there. It was some dude who did this for us who was just learning how to use something that came before Photoshop. I don't know what it was.
Okay.
So he made it all swirly and weird, and he kind of
Right.
ghosted our images in again behind us in the doorway there for some reason. I don't know what that's supposed to represent, but
I know it's like this stuff was weird to begin with, and then when people got the ability, like when I got the ability to do Photoshop and stuff like that, ours got weirder and weirder and weirder all the time. It was great.
And he said our guitarist came up with a name for the band. He's like, yeah, Bethel is like the house of the Lord, so
yes,
Beth Avon is the house of darkness or some kind of stuff. It's like, whatever, I don't care as long as I get to sing.
There's got to be concert footage somewhere, man. Please tell us.
There is. I don't know where though. Like I wouldn't call it concert footage.
Well,
it's like a
gig.
But yeah, there was a couple of gigs that I know some people filmed, but that was 30 years ago, and it's long gone by now.
I know. Our drummer used to film everything. He was one of those people that had like a camera back in the day, like one of those big video cameras, and he would set it up and film us. He's got them all. I haven't seen him in years. We did a show where we all dressed up like the Wizard of Oz. It was on Halloween, and I was Dorothy, and I'm an ugly woman, man. I do not make a good-looking woman, but. Yeah. I mean, it's probably for the best that these things are lost at this point.
Yeah.
So, Eric, if we ask you to do a theme song for Legion's Lounge, could you hook us up?
Nope. I mean, if you came up with a song that you wanted me to sing, I don't know when I'd have time to do it, but I would try to bang something out for you if you wanted me to. But you'd have to have somebody else do the music and all that kind of stuff.
All right.
I heard you singing a little bit with Mr. Allen last night.
You know what? Yeah, Mr. Allen actually contacted me about singing part of his Mythic Legions song, and I just never had, like, up until 2 weeks ago, I've been so swamped with everything. I haven't been able to do anything except for work, sleep, and eat.
Right.
So
I love that song.
That song is
so cool.
Such a trip.
And by the way, I talked to Alberto too, and he's kind of making a comeback. He's gonna start doing some stuff, getting his equipment back together, because I miss that guy a lot too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Look at these young studs.
Look at those guys. Wow. What year do you think?
We all had dark hair then. Wow.
I know, right?
Well, that's when we were flying out to Mattel the first time.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And if you had just gone dressed like that, you felt a lot more comfortable.
Right. We were at the, I think it was probably Newark or LaGuardia airports.
Oh, I was going to say, that looks like an airport. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Gotcha.
So what's this, mid-90s-ish?
Has to be. Yeah, it has to be late 90s. Yeah.
Because
when did the let's see. Was it 2001 when the Twin Towers came in? Yeah, I think it was 1999. Yeah. It was like 2 years before was when we were flying out to Mattel. Like almost exactly 2 years before when we were starting Fourhorsemen. Actually, I think 99. We went the summer before that.
Okay.
So yeah, it must have been the summer of 99. It must have been like June or July when this picture was taken.
Wild.
I'm terrible with dates, so I'm not 100% sure, but yeah.
Like I said, everything happened 5 years ago.
Where's Jim's man bun? I don't know when the man bun came into play. Good times. A couple more questions. You had a question about IPs, Bill, right? Like property.
Oh yeah, like I think my question was, what's like a dream project for you guys? Whether it's a licensed thing or anything that you think that would be like a dream come true to land for some type of,
even if it's something that's already out there, right? I mean, if it's
besides what we're doing now, I mean, Mythic Legions and Cosmic Legions and some other potential legions that we have kind of very, very rough plans laid out for. Mm-hmm. This kind of is like our dream. This is what we've wanted to do from day one, but there was never really the proper opening. And I think we just lucked into, like, at the end of where Lord of the Rings and everything was done by Toy Biz, and there was kind of a lull in fantasy stuff. We were like, this is kind of what we want to do. Why don't we do it now? And it kind of came together. So this is really like our dream come true. But for me personally, I mean, it's Fantastic Four. We've done Fantastic Four figures for both Toy Biz and wait a minute. No, we haven't done any Hasbro Fantastic Four, but we've done Fantastic Four figures for Toy Biz.
I didn't know
and they were always like, this is a very controlled drawing, and this it has to be done like this artist style, or has to be done in this look. So we never really got to do it the way that we wanted to. My dream would be, and I know Eric Treadaway would be at least somewhat on board with this with me, because we talk about it all the time. That's why this thing came to be, is because we want our versions of them. What we see as the perfect versions of them. Every time I see a Fantastic Four figure release, I go, almost. Not exactly where I want it to be. Not what I would consider myself, my personal opinion, to be the perfect Fantastic Four figure. But one day, that's my dream.
I'd love to see that.
They'll say, somebody will come and say, hey, we want you guys to do the Fantastic Four figures, and we want you to do them the way that you want to do them. So
cool.
That's what I want to do.
We're putting that out there in the universe now. So universe, listen up.
I mean, I know it's a time thing, but I would love to see you guys just do that on your own. You know what I mean? You've got the thing. I'd love to see it continue that. That'd be kind of cool. Just as a project, that'd be fun.
Eric actually has a new, this was sculpted in Castelline way back then. And he actually has a new thing figure that he's been tooling around with for the past couple of years on his computer digitally. When he was finished with this, he had started on a Mr. Fantastic figure too. So,
well, tell him let's get going. Let's get going.
Yeah.
He's got nothing to do.
What else has he got to do?
Come on, Eric. Let's go.
Just everything. That's all.
Lazy. Well, this has been great, man. I really appreciate you coming on. I think it's everything you guys are doing, everything you're touching is gold, man. Cosmic Legions, I think, is going to open up a whole new world for new people. I know that there's new people coming into the line that weren't into the fantasy thing. I think that's the other thing. You think? I think the science fiction thing there's a little more competition, but I think it's very IP centric, and I think there's going to be a big market for the cosmic stuff. I think it's just going to open up a whole new world for you guys.
I hope so. I mean, I mentioned earlier that we saw a lot of the the fans of Mythic Legions come back to Cosmic Legions and jump in full force, but there were a lot of new purchases of people who have never bought a Mythic Legions figure before. We were surprised to see the amount of new people coming into Cosmic Legions just because it was, I guess, something that spoke to them. Maybe fantasy didn't speak to them and they weren't into it. Or maybe they'd never seen Mythic Legions figures. Maybe this somehow got on their algorithm on Instagram or Facebook or something, and they saw Cosmic Legions and, it snapped with them and people jumped in. So,
I hope so. They may in turn then find themselves going, damn, these figures are amazing. I got to check out Mythic Legions. So.
I hope so. That's the plan.
Is true. Colin is right. Krampus has been a great gateway figure too. I'm on all the shows and stuff, either in the chat or talking to the people. And I watched when Cosmic came out that everybody was talking about that, in a way that when a new Mythic Legions line came out, they would definitely talk about it. But if you went around the room, people would be like, you picking these up? They're like, yeah, I'm going to pick up a couple, or I might pick up this guy. Nah, I'm not, I'm so far behind. I don't know what to get, blah, blah, blah. But when Cosmic came out, everybody was like, I'm getting in on the ground floor of this now because, I missed out on Mythic Legions. I love the space theme even more than I like fantasy. So I think it's going to be nuts, man. The Cosmic Cabal is going to be a lot to handle probably in about a year when these things get in people's hands, man. It's going to be nuts.
Well, you just mentioned the Compass. That was our first Figura Obscura release. And if you think he was a gateway, wait until you see our next release. And our next release after that. I think that those are really going to bring people into the Mythic Legions, Cosmic Legions group of stuff. I think a lot of people, it's going to appeal to a lot of people in a lot of different ways.
That's awesome.
Definitely. What is that? Are we going to start alternately waves in cosmic and mythic moving forward? Is it going to be a deep thing? I don't know what you mean by deep thing, Mark. Are we going to start alternating waves between cosmic and mythic moving forward, or is it going to be a deep thing? I'm not sure what
he meant to write. He meant to type feel. Is it going to be a feel thing?
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Gotcha. So is
I
that
don't know
a
what he
thing?
means by that.
I guess he's saying, are we going to go forward? Are we going to have like there's going to be a cosmic wave, then the next thing's going to be a mythic wave, and then there's going to be a cosmic mythic wave, or is it going to be just basically there's a small wave of cosmic, maybe there'll be a large wave of cosmic, maybe we'll have an all-star in between there somewhere, maybe.
Optimally, we would like to have a back and forth, but really, if you're thinking the way that we're putting out and releasing Mythic Legions, it's not going to be quite possible to do just back and forth. We're trying to release as much of both of those properties as possible without completely killing collectors' wallets.
Yeah,
that's
I appreciate that.
That's the biggest hurdle. Is we understand that people don't have, thousands of dollars every month that they can just blow on toys, and people don't have a lot, an unlimited amount of space for these things. So we're trying to. Well, it's one of the reasons we brought Jeremy Gerard in, is because he has a really good sense of, how these things should be released and pushed and stuff. So over the next year or two, you're going to be seeing how we're going to be releasing those. I can't really say much more about it than that, but yes, we would love to have them, back and forth, but it's not always possible.
Right.
And then you got to work
to do with, whether it's a wave that's full production wave or a wave that's just paint master waves too.
Right.
Plus, we've got other projects kind of in the ether that we would like to do. They're non-Mythic Legions based. Those will have to find their way in somehow. And we just don't want to kill people's wallets. We know people want to collect this stuff, but we don't want to, just wreck them.
Well, I hope the other projects you're speaking of might be the steampunk legions that I had inquired about after falling in love with Arcane so much and just loving that style anyway. So
yeah, definitely.
We'll see.
I like the idea of steampunk legions too. That's not what it would be called, but I like that idea as well.
We were going to give away a T-shirt. Do you think we still have time to give away a T-shirt? All right.
Sure, we got 84 still with us.
All right. Legions Lounge T-shirt. There you go.
T-shirt? Oh, it's the Legions.
I got to get you a Legions Lounge T-shirt too. I got to get you one.
4XL, like real 4XL. Like guys have gotten me 4XL T-shirts and given to me. I'm like, how is this not fitting me? So I guess they ordered from China or something, because everything that I've ordered from China comes like 3 sizes too small.
Oh, really? Interesting. Yeah. Curtis with another super chat. Thank you, man. Jeremy Gerard, a.k.a. Director Furry. It's good. Good one.
The boy does seem to have furry issues, doesn't he?
He does, yeah. I haven't seen any costumes yet, but I wouldn't put it past him.
I mean, the first release was his whole kitsune thing. Come on. We know where that's from,
he loves his animals. It's nice.
Right.
It's nice. All right. So the way we're going to do this is we're going to put hashtag Cornboy. If you want to be in for the T-shirt, and you don't already have one, because we only have so many right now. We're going to get some more for Legions Con. Put hashtag Cornboy in the chat right now, and we're going to give you a couple minutes to do that, and then we'll take everybody who's put that in there, and we'll do a random drawing. Hashtag Cornboy. But nobody wants a T-shirt. Is that what it is? There we go.
There we go. We're getting some. Well, while that's filling up,
Nate, do you have those shirts yourself?
Do I have?
Trevor, do you have those shirts? I always get you two guys mixed up now.
Damn it.
It's easy to do.
Trevor,
remember,
do you have those shirts?
He's the older one.
I'm the one that works for you.
Right. You have the shirts?
I do have the shirts. Yeah. I got to see if I got a 4XL. I was meant to give you guys some before I left, but I put them in the car. Dave gave them to me at interned for a day, and I stuck them in the car, and then I was so tired, I left, and I forgot I had them to give to everybody.
All right, well,
Dave,
one of the shirts you're giving
you don't
away
need a
tonight.
T-shirt. Yeah.
One of the shirts you're giving away tonight, bring it to the studio, and I'll get all sweaty and I'll wipe Cornboy sweat on it, and then you can ship
There
it
you
to me.
go. I mean, come on.
One random shirt's going to have Cornboy head sweat on it.
I mean, maybe you're out there, maybe you have the prototype for the Cornboy that has hair in it, and then you can add that to your Cornboy collection. You can have sweat and hair, and then maybe some dead skin or something for the next one. All right.
You're not allowed to clone me after you get that, though. You have to sign waivers.
With that workload you got, maybe you'd want one.
Yeah, maybe.
I'll clone you and start a Meatloaf tribute band.
Yeah. We need to clone Eric is what we need to do.
Yeah, you do.
Right? We need like 6 or 8 of him.
And
so
Chris,
Eric, outside of working and being
bit.
in the toy world, what do you like to do for fun?
I don't think I'm allowed to talk about it on here.
It's in the after hour show.
I mean, really, it's not. I don't really do much of anything other than hang out, and I really just work. I like to go hiking when I'm capable of doing that. It's not very often that I feel the energy to go hiking, but I used to like fishing a lot, but I haven't done that in years.
Okay.
Wow. Are you going out to the movies these days? Are you going to go see Doctor Strange? Or
I have been going out. Yeah, I actually, for the first time in a long time, I bought an opening night ticket. Normally, I don't like opening night.
Me neither.
Usually wait a week or so after I've been in the theater, and then I'll go see it. Not just because of COVID, just because I don't really like people. But
I hear that.
This one, I really want to see like first thing. So we got opening night tickets.
Cool.
I do too. My wife hates opening night too, so I bought her. It's not really for Mother's Day, but for Sunday to go see it on Sunday. So now I've got to stay off the internet for 3 freaking days, man. There's no way I'm gonna be able to avoid that.
That'll be tough.
Yeah, it's gonna be tricky. All right, I think we got everybody in here, so I'm going to put Cornboy in here. Let me see if I can bring this. I gotta bring the screen up. Never done this before, so if it doesn't work, too bad. All right, we got that. Can we see that?
Oh, look at that. Yep.
All right, here we go.
Tool.
All right, we got 47 entries. Everybody's in who's in, who wants to be in.
Giveaway tool.
There we go. Exactly. And we're drawing it now. Here we go.
That's fun.
I saw Joe Vassapolo's name there. He's not allowed to get one. He works for
us.
Lebo Fett.
There you go.
Which, I gotta say my old
Lebo.
Nice. Cornboy sweat is on its way.
There you go. You're the proud owner. Congrats,
That's
Lebo.
awesome.
Lebo, just DM me on either Facebook or Instagram, or leave a comment if you want to afterwards, if you're not on either one of those. And we'll get your t-shirt out to you. Let me know your size and all that stuff. Cool. Fun. I like that. That's nice. We're going to use that more often for sure.
Yeah, for sure. That was great.
Yeah, I definitely need to try that out.
Yeah,
I like it. I like seeing all the names flash past too.
I know, and it kind of like slows down. It's like the Wheel of Fortune wheel. It's like who's it gonna be? I think we're gonna wrap this up, man. I really appreciate you being on here. This has been a lot of fun. I know you do a lot of these, and then now you got another one to do tomorrow night. But that's gonna be, you're gonna get all the Mythic Legions collection questions tomorrow. So I'm interested in watching that, and I'm gonna be there for it as well on Legion's Lair. I almost called it Legion's Lounge myself. Legion's Lair tomorrow on Facebook. CB will be there talking to Mike and Brad. Great show. If you guys haven't caught it yet, I'm sure you probably have.
Well, that does. I did have one more question. That does remind me. So out of Legion's Lounge, Legion's Lair, Mythic Conversations, Legion's Cast, which one's your favorite, and why is it Legion's Lounge?
No offense, guys, but I've said a million times my favorite podcast is My Wife Is Going to Kill Me. So.
I know. Mine too.
Gotta love those boys.
Yep.
That's how I found you in Mythic Legions in the first place. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
They are definitely grand ambassadors for us.
Yeah, they are.
Hardly a toy podcast, but still a great podcast.
Right.
Part of the reason why we love them so much.
Exactly. All right.
The good boys.
Guys, thank you for everybody for coming in. We had like over 100 people here tonight, which is
Wow, cool.
awesome. So please hit that like again before you leave. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. Couple of personal things. I've got May 4th, I've got a giveaway from LumaCube coming up. So watch Instagram for that. It's going to be a good one. Got a new video coming out. Finally finished that Ahsoka Tano Hot Toys review shoot video. So that'll be up tomorrow.
Cool.
And yeah, May the 4th, man. It's going to be cool. Bill, what do you got going on?
Really nothing much. I haven't been putting out any videos lately, but you know, next week we'll have the podcast. I may go live this Thursday, but we'll see.
Go live. I like the live.
I'm trying to get to the weekly thing, but I'm building up to it.
Cool.
Definitely. Nate, what do you got going on? Anything new in the Mythic Legions hashtag world?
I just put up a shot last night, and I've been out of town, so I'm hoping to get back into doing some more toy shots this coming week. Yep.
Cool. CB, we'll see you tomorrow. Anything else we need to know? You got Friday, you're doing a podcast. Tomorrow, you're going to be on there, and then you rest.
I don't know about rest.
You start all over again on Monday.
But yeah, thanks for having me on here, guys. It's a really good time.
Thank you.
I like the show.
Thanks for coming.
I enjoy you guys having me on here. And everybody that jumped in on the Cosmic Legions pre-order and everybody who spread the word about it, thank you. We can't thank you guys.
Whoa, you turned sideways.
You went sideways.
Sideways and mute.
Well, can't hear. I don't know what happened there, Eric, but I appreciate it. I think
It's a good exit right here.
I think you want to say thank you to everybody who got into the Cosmic Wave, and you helped Anthony stay awake the entire time.
That's
entire show.
Feat right
which
there.
Is, right there. Like, look at that. Amazing. All right. If you can come back, can you come back? All right. Goodbye. All right. Bye, everybody. That was awesome.
Cheers.
All right. Cool. We will see you again in 2 weeks. Hopefully, we'll have some new stuff to talk about. I'm sure we will. I'm sure there'll be something shipping. 2 weeks. I hope something's shipping. May, June, man. We got to get Lithia with the
big stuff
deluxe Legion builders. I hope.
Mm-hmm.
All right, boys. Another good show. That was a lot of fun. Thanks again to CB for coming on, and we will see you tomorrow on. I'll be in the Legion's Lair chat.
Right. We'll be there. See ya.
Peace.
Good night.